Record. We are recording. Good morning, Susan. Yes, I'm just seeing everybody's names. Morning, Nikki. Hey, Debbie. Hi, Misty. Hi, Lolly. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I want to start out in the chat. Hey, Jen. With you guys just kind of dropping, and I know that we did this in the team page. Before we get going, y'all know my internet is terrible. I am connected to my hotspot on my phone. If for some reason I lose you, jump back on, because I will jump right back on. Sometimes it disconnects, but I don't want to make somebody else a host this time because then I screen share my computer. Okay. I know we did this in the team page. I know that we kind of went through some of our questions, but just to kick this off, I want you guys to drop in the chats why you're here. Not like your why for plexus yet, but why you are wondering about social media. What is it that you struggle with? Lay it all out. You know, on our team, this is always a no judgment zone. If you have the struggles, somebody else has the struggles. And so we want to make sure that we're really going through this and that we're talking through everything. So at any point in time, I'm going to have everybody muted for right now. And as I start screen sharing this, my internet usually holds up better if I don't have my video on too. So I'm going to turn off my video, but I would love to see your faces. And I would love to see the things that you want to talk about in the comments. And if you have questions or comments as we're going through this, please unmute and ask them. I want this to be beneficial for you guys. Okay, let me screen share this. I'm going to turn off my video. I mean, yeah, if you want the perfect example of social media and some of the tips that I'm going to share, look at my screensaver. Everybody got it? This is the best before and after. I love this. And then look at me now. I always think it's the best thing ever. Both of them are real life, right? Before, after, before, after. But the thing is knowing a time and a place on how to share these things. So let's go through it a little bit and unmute. Oh boy, where did it go? Okay. Unmute as you have questions about this, and keep dropping stuff in the comments too. Okay. What we're going to do today is come up with a social media content calendar. Can everybody see my screen right now? I don't want to do a full screen share because I want to be able to see what y'all are saying at the same time too. Can you guys drop it in the chats? Everybody can see that first graphic there, the social media January content calendar. Good morning, Sabrina. So fun. I love seeing your names pop up on here. Okay. What I think that the biggest thing, and I'm seeing it in the comments, and thank you for sharing this, Nikki, Jess, Denise, you struggle with what to post. How many of y'all have gotten to the end of the day? It's like 8 o'clock and you think, oh, crap. I didn't post anything on social media today. And now I feel like I need to rush through to get a post up. So I'm going to go look at a couple of my friends. And then it starts a rabbit trail, right? Like I look at somebody else's post and then I think, well, I don't have a picture like that. I don't have a graphic like that. This person looks better than me. This person looks better than me. And 45 minutes later, I've done a whole lot of scrolling. I've done a ton of comparing, but I haven't done anything to move my needle. Anybody else feel like that and do that? That's something that I know happens for me. And if it happens for you too, then I want you to know that it really is important to take a couple of minutes. And this does not take a ton of time. At the beginning of the month, I usually do this on Sundays and Tuesdays. Sundays used to be my big day because we were actually going to church and I was dressed. But we don't have in-person church right now. And so Tuesdays, I have a lot of meetings. And so usually on Tuesdays, I'm actually like showered and dressed. And so I do a ton of content planning and pictures. I'm going to talk about that on social media, but I want you to feel empowered by this. You do not need to get to the end of the month and not, or at the end of the day, and not have a plan. It is so, so true. A goal without a plan is just a wish, right? You can come up with content. And the things you do during a day absolutely are interesting. I want you to hear me again. The things that you do during a day are interesting. How many of you guys get this feeling sometimes like, oh, I can't post because I don't really do anything. Like I go to work, I cook meals, I stay at home, I don't have kids, I'm not traveling. Anybody else feel like that? And so then you start thinking, well, I want hundreds of content, what is this? Y'all, every single person has been in that exact same boat this year, especially, right? 2020, I was not traveling. I was not doing all the things. I was homeschooling and staying home and doing remodeling stuff, right? Those are the only things that I was doing, but you better bet I'm still posting about it, right? So I want you to know, and you screenshot this, this is all social media is, and social selling is being you. It truly is about unbecoming everything you think that you should be. I want you more than anything today is to get rid of the head trash, to get rid of this thought. And I put me on a soapbox. I'll preach about this all day. You do not need to do anything other than be who you are. The problem that a lot of people, and I see this happen over and over and over again, and I did this. I am not telling you this stuff from reading a book or watching a podcast or watching a YouTube video. I'm telling you this because I've been there. I've gone through it. I've lived it. The things that you need to be are you, right? The problem is that when we go to social media and we see somebody else doing something that we think looks amazing, we think we need to do it too in order to have a valuable story. That's not it at all. And what ends up happening is that it's almost like split personality disorder, right? We start trying to be every single other person, thinking that that's what we have to do. You don't. The world does not need another me. Ask my husband and my kids. The world doesn't need another me. The world doesn't need another Misty. The world doesn't need another Mina. The world doesn't need another Carol. It needs who you are meant to be. And I know that not everybody on here might believe the same thing that I do, but I fully believe, and I'm not afraid to share this part, that God did not make a mistake on you. He did not design you and think, oh, I hope that she goes through an identity crisis and thinks that she has to be every single other person, right? You have gifts, you have talents, you have a story that needs to be heard. And the beauty of social media and the beauty of social selling and network marketing is that people relate to you, right? There are people that are not going to relate to my story. Would I love to attract a 20-something-year-old that doesn't have kids and that's huge into Instagram? 1000%. Guess what? If I start trying to market to that person, I am going to miss the boat because I'm 36 and I'm a mom of 3 and I homeschool, right? I'm not, I'm not a 20-something-year-old anymore. Does that mean that I can't relate to those people on some levels and that I couldn't help them? But all that to say, I want you to really hone in today on what makes you you, not what makes me me. One of the things that I saw in the post on our page was that you feel like you can't be you in this. And y'all, I know that this is going to maybe offend a couple of you, but you are putting that on you, right? you are putting that thought on yourself that you have to be something else, and you don't have to be something else. And when you can release that, I promise you so many things are going to change for you. Social media, like y'all, I have fun on social media. I love stories. I've taken a couple of days off just because we can, like, you, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I love posting on social media. It was not always that way. So I'm going to walk through this with you. The first thing that I want you to write down today: why are you here? Now, this is not the why are you here like I just had you put in the comments. This is your why for sharing. Why do you want this to work? Is it because you want an extra $500 a month? Is it because you want $5,000 a month? Is it because you want to change lives? What is it for you? Why are you willing to step outside of those comfort zones and share on social media? Because guys, it is uncomfortable. I will never, ever, ever tell you that I have not had days, even now still as a diamond, where I push post and I'm nervous. But I do promise you that when you do the things that are uncomfortable, you will grow, both yourself personally and in your business. So if you want to share that in the comments, but I'm just going to give you like 30 seconds. I want you to write that down, why you're here, and dig deep. What does it mean? Don't just write $500 a month. What does that $500 a month do for you? Does it allow you wiggle room at the end of the month? So write that down. Yeah, baby. I love you very much. Did you learn from it? Yeah. You need to apologize to your sister too. Both of you. Did you get them? Or did workers take them?
Dad got it.
Okay. I love you, buddy. Okay. They were both right there together. He must have already gotten it. I love you, babe. Okay. I want to see people and pay down my debts. Nikki, thank you for that. Susan, Debbie, I'm proud of you guys for sharing these things. Thank you. Sure, has changed my lives. 1000%. I want to have money for traveling. I hear you 100%. That's one of the reasons that we started this. I wanted financial stress lifted from my husband. And so why I'm having you guys dive into that is because when you feel those uncomfortable moments, you guys have heard me say this over and over and over again. Our bodies are designed to keep us comfortable, right? Our bodies are designed when we feel uncomfortable, and this is an extreme example, but it's like standing next to a cliff, right? Our body knows fear. It knows, hey, we should take 3 steps back because I don't want to fall off that cliff. And it sounds crazy, but our body doesn't always know the difference between stepping off of a cliff and posting on social media. It's still that fear response. So unless we 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it and step outside those comfort zones, it's not going to happen. We're going to take the step back and we're going to stay comfortable. But comfort zones do not expand you. They don't. All right, so here's what I want you to do next, uncovering your fear stories. And I promise we're going to get to the content mapping, but this stuff is really important first. I can give you all the steps. I can. 5 years in social media, I can give you every single step. But there's a reason you're not staying consistent. There's a reason you're not posting, right? And if you don't uncover that reason, the steps in the process, y'all, it's not going to mean anything. It really isn't. It's going to go one ear out the other. It's going to be a week of you posting, and then you're going to fall into old habits again. I don't want that for you. I don't want a resolution. I want a solution, right? Okay, so I want you to uncover your fear stories. Write them down. If you want to put it in the chat, perfect. If you write it down on a piece of paper, and then we're going to rewrite those fear stories. I know I saw in the group in our team page that some of them was time management. Y'all, stop. I mean, really, how often do you just scroll on social media? Be real with yourself. Do you spend 30 minutes a day scrolling on social media? What is it getting you if you're not being intentional with it? Time management, yes. Is life busy? Absolutely. Don't use it as an excuse. If time management is one of yours, then you haven't fully clued into why you're doing it. Because I have seen people go diamond in this company working a full-time job, 60 hours a week. It can happen. You just have to know why. Is it easy all the time? Heck no. But don't use time as an excuse because you're already on social media. I'm not like her. Anybody do the comparison game? We just talked about it, right? My pictures aren't Pinterest worthy. Anybody think this? Yep. A lot of us, right? It's the comparison thing. Your pictures don't have to be Pinterest worthy. We're going to go through that in just a couple of minutes. Picture perfect doesn't sell anymore. So I want you to release that. You want people to look at your profile and think, hey, I can do this. Like if that girl can be a diamond, I can be a diamond. If that girl can sell and share, then so can I, right? I'm not that interesting. We just talked about that one. What will people think? Y'all, if you would not go to somebody for life advice, meaning if your marriage was in crisis, if your kids had trouble, if you were going through a panic attack, if you would not go to those people, and this was a huge realization for me, if you would not go to somebody for advice, stop letting them take over your goals and your dreams. If you wouldn't go to advice for them, do not let them dictate your future. This is hard sometimes because a lot of times family is the biggest critic. I get that. And we're going to talk a little bit about unfollowing and friending and all the things because you need to have the people in your life that are supporting you. But if you wouldn't go for them and they're not rowing your boat the same way, if they're poking holes in your boat, throw them overboard. And I mean that with love. Get rid of it. You don't need it. That unfriend button and that unfollow button, you are allowed to use it. Give yourself permission. I can't tell you how many times, and it does not have to mean that you don't like the person. There are some people that I genuinely love, but I cannot follow them on social media because it is so negative. That doesn't mean that I don't send them messages and encourage them, but it jacks with my mindset. And I know that I can't do it. I don't want to see it every single day. There are some people on the flip side that I do the comparison game with. They're amazing people. But when I am not in a good headspace, and I went through this about 2 years ago, I had to unfollow some people because the comparison game was real for me. And I had to get through that. We're going to talk about highlight reels versus reality versus reeling it all or airing it all too. And I know if Jess, if you're still on here, I know that this is something that we've talked about too. Jess, I'm completely calling you out on this and I hope that you're okay. Jess just started a social media account in June and her posts are incredible. And she steps outside of her comfort zones all the time. And one of the things that I love about her is that she's finding herself and she doesn't air every single thing, right? And there's so many of us that do this. And I want you to release that pressure that selling something, sharing something, being a network marketer does not mean that you have to air every single thing on social media. There are parts of my life that I keep really super private. There are some things that some of y'all know because we spend days together, but I don't put that stuff on social media. It doesn't mean that I'm only sharing the highlight reels. It means that there are some things in my life that I'm still working through. I don't have to share with every single person. And there's also a point in being positive and being negative all the time. Being positive does not on social media, and I share some of the negative, it doesn't mean that the negative doesn't happen. But if you are somebody that is sharing like, oh, yesterday this happened and it was terrible, and today this happened, nobody's going to want to follow you, right? Okay, so make sure that you know what your fear stories are and write them down. If you have not been able to tap into that, let me know because we'll talk through it a little bit more. Okay, man, I talk too much. Sorry. Okay, 3 things that your Facebook page should do. I want you guys to write these things down. It should engage, entertain, and educate. Your Facebook platform has a purpose, right? It should be engaging in the sense, and we're going to talk about how to do some of this stuff, but you want to have people commenting and liking so you can see who's following you. You need to have some kind of entertainment so it makes people smile, and then educating. Do not let these scare you. This is stuff that you live and breathe every single day. Your kid tells a funny joke. That's the entertainment. You see something on Facebook, share a story from somebody, right? You want to know what paint color to paint your kitchen. That's engagement. Y'all, you ask people for an opinion on Facebook, they're going to give you an opinion. Everybody wants to do that. Educating, it's not meaning that you have to be an expert in something. Educating is simply, how many of you guys struggle with what to cook for dinner? Me, all the time. Put up a post with a recipe that you have made, take a picture of it, and put that on there. That's educating, right? Don't think too much about this. The things that you do every single day, you find a workout, like if you're not a workout person, you find one that you love, share it. That's educating. It's giving people something to come to your page for. If you go to your social media page right now and every single post is about plexus, you have to stop. And I mean that with love. When somebody goes to your social media page, they should want to be with you, right? But it doesn't mean that they go to your social media page and they see automatically that you're selling something. That's not what you want. So it's not an in-your-face thing every single day. It's attraction marketing, and that's what I want for every single one of you. So educating, entertaining, and engaging. Those are the 3 things that you focus on. How you do that is by writing down the things that make you you. And I want every single one of you to do this right now. This is about unbecoming everything that you think other people want you to be. What are the things that you love? If Denise is still on here, I know for her, I can go to her page. I know that she loves crafting and knitting and crocheting. That makes her her, right? Sabrina, if you guys followed her in the month of December, every single time, like the cocoa bombs and telling people how to do it and what she was doing, like that was both entertaining and it was educating. Write down the things that you love doing. What makes you you? Is it your family? Is it cooking? Is it working out? And don't you dare say that you don't have anything that you love. If that really is you and you don't have anything that you love, I want you to spend some time on Pinterest. And I just want you to start exploring. What's something that you would love to do? If you could spend your time doing anything, what would it be? I love traveling. I love do-it-yourself activities. I love finding something and trying to do it cheaper. That's me. I share it all the time. So write those things down, and that's what I want you to stick with. I have friends that think, and they've told me this, we've had real conversations about this. Well, what makes your profile interesting, Brie, is that you travel a lot. People love seeing that stuff. But I don't travel, so I can't do this. Or I don't even like to travel. Yo, if you don't like it, don't do it. You don't have to post about that stuff. Some of my favorite people to follow on social media are complete introverts. that don't like traveling and simply are home and homeschooling. You will find your niche market when you become you. If you are retired and you are home all day, you're still doing something. That's your niche market, right? If you're teaching and you're growing your business on the side, that's your niche market. Other moms, other people that are outside of the home working, and maybe they need something that's quick for meals or time management schedules or just a laugh, because how many of us felt trapped in 2020? Me. Like, I needed to feel the community. So your 3 areas of interest, write them down today. Okay, here's the content mapping. Tell me in the comments, has this been helpful so far? And any questions that you guys still have? Melanie, I love that. Baking, spending time with your family. So baking, make it a point to share a recipe a week. Something that you have made, take a picture of it. Do not, top tip, do not go to somebody else's page and just share it. It does not work in Facebook algorithms. The more that you share of somebody else's stuff, it boosts their post. It does not boost your profile. So does everybody know what I mean by this? When you go to somebody else's page and you just hit share and it goes to yours, don't do it. If you love something that somebody else does, and message me if you don't know how to do this, you copy their text and then you paste it into your own post. And you put your own picture. So you find somebody's recipe that you love, make it yourself, take a picture. Better yet, take a picture with you making it. Take that picture, put the recipe, and you can then say, hey, I saw my friend Mina making this today and I loved it, so I tried it. Here's the recipe. Then it gives them a shout out, but it's your own individual post. So if you love cooking, make it like, I don't know, Wellness Wednesday, here's your crock pot meal for today. Clearly, I'm not a cooker, so I don't even know how to tell you to do that. But if that's something that you love, make it a point every single week to share a recipe. People eat that up. People like me that make the same 3 meals all the time. That's valuable. Or that order takeout 92 times a week. That's me. Likewise, if you are somebody that does takeout, start sharing coupons for people that are in your area, right? There are so many things that you can do with this. And you're already doing it in your day-to-day lives. You just have to look, and maybe for you, if you are struggling right now, like, what do I do? Take an assessment of your day this weekend. What do you spend your time doing? And then write it down. Do you make your own laundry detergent? Write it down. Share that with people. Misty, you're with me. Who does that? Not me, but somebody does. Right? And there's a market for that. Mina's like, people do that?
Is that a thing? No, like legit, that's a thing?
Yeah, I actually used to do it.
That must be the farm people that do that.
And the allergy...
Us Jersey girls do not do that.
Right? Well, you also don't turn left. There's a lot of things you don't do in New Jersey. Love you. Still a Jersey girl. But there is a market for that stuff, right? When Riley was little and going through all of her allergy stuff, I shared tons of things like that. I couldn't buy laundry detergent because she couldn't have tons of ingredients. So I was making it. Like, there was a whole market for that stuff. And this is a perfect example, because there could be somebody on here that's like, well, I do make my own laundry detergent. Right? You have a market, because that's not something that I do. That's not something that Misty does. That's not something that Mina does. Right? So you have something that sets you apart. Stop looking at those things that you think are just average for you and realize that that's empowering for you. It is mindset. Social media is mindset. When you believe that your worth sharing your story and that you have a story to tell, that's what is selling. That's what's important. That's what's going to get people to your post. Jess, perfect question. Okay, so she said, how do you incorporate plexus and how often should you post about it? Here's the thing. I don't very often even say the word plexus, because what happens when you are starting to just share with people, they value your content, they value your posts. What you ultimately want is, at the end of the day, I want somebody to be like, hey, and I've had this happen because I haven't really shared a lot outside of stories in the last couple of days. I've had people come to me and they're like, hey, you didn't post on social media today. Are you okay? That's what you want. You want somebody at the end of the day to be like, oh, I didn't see Nikki's post. I didn't see Debbie's post. I didn't see Carol's post. I need to go check out her page. And then what you get to do is you get to sprinkle plexus in, right? And it can be as simple as, today I was up, now I could do this later. I was up at 4:30. These are all the things that I got done. Thank you, Lord, for my energy. Who needs energy? Everyone. If people are already going to following me, guess what they're going to do? They're going to ask me where I'm getting it from. Right? That does not mean that, like, you don't take a picture of your pink drink every now and then, or once you start this, guys, if you're somebody that loves cooking and you're sharing recipes all the time, guess what's really easy to do? This is my favorite recipe and it takes me 30 minutes or 30 minutes, 30 seconds to mix up. I love that I have protein to start my day and take a picture of your lean, right? Don't overcomplicate it. Jess, when you're out, like your pictures with your kids over the holiday and you living in the moments, people see that and they want that. Especially people that have been friends with us for a long time, right? And they see us changing and growing and sharing. And this is where it's going to be really, really important. I still post about plexus just about every day, but I don't say the words plexus. And that's a huge shift. And the other thing is, at the end of your comments or at the end of your posts, you don't always have to ask a question like, who wants to get healthy with me? Who wants to join me? Because those words are more of a selling standpoint. Does that make sense? And do we sell stuff? 1000%. Do I feel bad about it? No. They're either going to walk into Walmart and get crap vitamins, or they can get it from me, right? I'm proud of that. So don't you dare feel bad about selling something and sharing something on social media that's going to change people's lives. Okay, here is, I hope that helped, Jess. And we're going to go through a little bit more of this. Content planning. Here's what I want you to do, every single one of you, this weekend. And I'm going to teach you a little bit about photos. I'm going to teach you a little bit about how you need to change your mindset with the pictures. Because every single person can do this. What I want you to do is look ahead for this entire month. Here is a really quick tip that will make this super easy for you. Go to Google. Can everybody see this? You literally type in January holidays. Y'all, there is a holiday for everything. Like, I don't know why this just came to me, maybe because my son was talking about his belly button lint last night, but I am sure that there is a holiday for belly button lint. Like, there is a holiday for everything. So this does not mean that on your social media page, now you're going to share every single holiday for the month of January. But when you click on this, like National Calendar for Holidays, click on it, see what comes up. It will give, like, January 1st, National Hangover Day. Shocker. Guess what? Slim helps with hangovers. I know from personal experience. I could have posted about that yesterday, right? National Buffet Day today. National Cream Puff Day. I mean, y'all, like, there is a holiday for everything. If you find National Chocolate Covered Cherry Day. Maybe you post then about not needing or craving chocolate like you did. National Spaghetti Day. You could post about a picture of spaghetti and say, I love that I can eat carbs and not feel bloated. There's your plexus post. I mean, y'all, National Technology Day, January 6th. Guess what every single one of us could post on January 6th? Hey, it's National Technology Day. I love that, especially after a year like we've had, that I have a piece of equipment, a phone, a computer, whatever that is for you, that I could run a business on and stay connected when other people couldn't. Do you see how you can take any day and make it something that's plexus? But I didn't mention the word plexus in there. And here's the other thing. When you go down through this and you plan ahead, and again, this is not saying like, I want every single thing to be like you celebrating a national holiday. But when you go down through this and you plan ahead, here's your next tip. Whoa, went back to the beginning. I want you to batch your photos. Here's what I mean by this. Guys, let me just go back. Let me stop sharing for a second. Ooh, I need to yell and get somebody to bring me my charger. Okay, sorry, I thought I had enough power, but I don't. Let me stop sharing for a second because I want to drive this point home to you. If you look at, and I did this at the beginning for those of you that are on, do you see the picture that's up as my screensaver for Zoom? Y'all, this is what I look like 99% of the time, right? My husband just walked in. Amen to that. Thank you. Oh, that. Sorry, he was making the sound for the whip because I asked him to bring my charger and he came running. Okay, there's that. Thank you. Love you too. Okay, here's what I'm saying about your photos. When you have a day that you are dressed and you are ready, take 92 pictures. You will feel awkward. You will. I promise you. I probably have taken 1.5 billion selfies over the last 5 years, and that's only a slight exaggeration. Because you can take 50 selfies and then just pick one, right? Set your phone up. I prop mine in this window right here is probably one of the top places for selfies because if you, a natural lighted window. So Lonnie, it actually looks like you're in front of a window right now. Like your lighting is really, really good. Carol, you have a perfect space right there. It's gorgeous wherever you're at. And the lighting is really, really good, right? So put your phone up. Y'all, I prop it up on soup cans all the time because they're heavy and they don't knock over. You don't have to invest in something that's super expensive. Use natural lighting, set your phone up, put it on the timer, take 10 pictures. Then change your outfit, change your earrings, take 10 more, right? Change your outfit again. I mean, y'all, I may blow dry my hair now once a month. Like, whatever. So when I'm actually really ready, I take advantage of it. And if I have my month kind of mapped out, then I know what pictures I need to take. That's why it's so important to look ahead at where you're at, because you're not going to get to 8:30 at night and start the scrolling and do all the things and not know what to post. You're already going to have a plan. Does that not mean, like, Lonnie is amazing at this. When she's doing a workout or she's doing something, she'll snap a picture of it and put up a post. It doesn't mean that there aren't then moments that you can have spontaneous posts. It just means that you have a good plan for a few days a week, so you're not overwhelmed with it. So plan ahead for your month and then batch your photos. Get in a good lighted spot. If you have a filter that you love, and I can get into all that, but don't overwhelm yourself. I think the biggest thing with social media, guys, is that some of us get into it and we think, okay, before I can be Instagram worthy, I need to have a selfie ring. I need to have a good photo. I need to have somebody come and take pictures for me. And then what happens? We never start posting. And then you're not going to grow your business. You're not going to find the people that need to hear your story because you're so worried about what everybody else thinks. I don't want that for you at all. Is it going to feel awkward? Yes. It's like a muscle, guys. It really is. It's just something that you have to dive into and start doing. And the longer that you put it off, I know this because I've been there. The longer that you put it off, the bigger this like negative story becomes in your mind, right? That you can't do it. You just keep telling yourself all these fear things. And then it builds up and builds up and builds up, and you just don't do it. And yes, you can get selfie rings if it's something that you really want. I have one. I think it was like 15 bucks on Amazon. And they are helpful, especially at night. But don't feel like you have to have one. Okay. A couple more things and then we'll ask questions. Let me share one more time. The big thing with social media, guys, and what I want you to focus on is that it really is about quality over quantity, both in your posts and in your network. Every single day, all day, I want you to focus on quality over quantity. It actually hurts you to have more than 2 or 3 posts in a day and to have posts back to back. And I see this with some of y'all when you post in our engagement threads and I have to search to find the post that you're talking about because since that post, you've already posted 5 different things. People don't see them. You want to post something, get likes and comments within the first 15 minutes, and then not post again for 2 or 3 hours at minimum. And that just helps with Facebook algorithms. The other thing, Misty, a selfie ring, mine's downstairs. It's just a bright light, like a circle that goes around your camera and lights. It's just like natural lighting. You can Google them or go into Amazon. The other thing is your quality over your quantity and your number of followers. I know that some of us can get really hung up on this. We think that we need to have thousands and thousands of people in our network to start sharing. You don't. Brooke Hemingway, I think perfect example, one of the biggest teams in Plexus, and she had, I think something insane, like 300 people on her Facebook when she started. You don't have to have a huge amount of people. I would rather have 500 friends on Facebook that I can be real with and grow with than 5,000 people that I feel like I'm being fake with just to entertain them. Quality over quantity, always, 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 always. Okay, what I want you to do right now, I want you to unmute if you have any questions, anything that you need help with, that's what we're here. And then I want you to start mapping out your month while we're together so you can ask questions. We'll spend about 10 minutes doing this, just answering questions that you have and mapping out your month. The other thing that you can do, and I'll show you this really quickly, if you go to Pinterest, I don't know how many of y'all Pinterest look like I am. My husband hates Pinterest because every day when he gets home now, it's like, hey, I saw this picture. I watched this video. And my house is like constantly under renovation. But you can go to Pinterest. And when you log on to Pinterest, you can type in social media content calendars. Guys, there are so many ideas. So don't just always go with the holidays, but if you just type in content calendar, it will pop up and look 30-day instant Instagram calendar, giving you ideas of what there are thousands of them, giving you ideas of what to post about. So right now, I want you to go and look at some of those things. If you need to, ask questions. And Mina, yes, it's so important. The algorithm, and I don't want you to get too caught up into algorithms with Facebook. Basically, what that means is the more active that you are on Facebook, the more Facebook rewards you. So if you spend 45 minutes on Facebook, but you never like or comment on anybody's stuff, Facebook sees you as a not valuable user. And they don't reward you by putting your post in other people's feeds. That's why it's really important, and I push this all the time, to have a list of 20 people, at least. That doesn't mean that that's 20 people that you're constantly messaging about plexus. That means that it's 20 people that you want to do plexus with you, and you're commenting on their feed, you're sending messages. But when you put up a post, if somebody comments on it, comment back with at least 4 words. That's the algorithm right now. At least 4 words, and that will boost it. Okay, questions? Content planning. Debbie, you could post your list of people right in that thread. That was just for accountability. Good question. So go ahead while we're on here together. We've got about 10 minutes. See if you can find the content calendars. Go look at your January calendar and map stuff out. And then unmute as you need to and ask questions. Hey, I'm just reading through some of the comments as I was doing some of my mapping. So first thing too, there is a lot of value in sharing other people's stories and in sharing your own story. So maybe on Testimony Tuesday, so make that part of it for you. You know, on Tuesdays, go into the Health and Happiness Lounge, find a story that relates to you or relates to somebody that you're sharing with, and share it on your page. Again, don't do the share button, copy and paste it, but that's something that's really valuable. Hashtags are really important. It might seem silly, and you can search on Pinterest too, or even on Google. Don't get wrapped up. If you don't do Pinterest, it's okay, Nikki. You can go to Google and type in content calendar too. But hashtags are just like Google. So if you hashtag migraines, somebody can click migraines and they can see every single thing about migraines. There's not in Instagram, putting hashtags in the comments works really well. In Facebook, putting them throughout your stories right now is working really well for some people. If that overwhelms you, don't let it. Here's the thing that I want everybody to realize. You're all on different journeys, right? You're all in different places. You all have today a page one that's different from somebody else's. So right now, your focus might be getting comfortable posting every single day on Facebook. Whereas somebody else might already have that down. You're already posting, and now you just need to kind of weave in your interests and narrow things down. Where somebody else might need to start focusing on hashtags because that's where they're at. Pick your lane and then stay there. Melanie, for business stuff, just message in, is Melanie still? Yeah. Message in our three-way because we can go through all of that with you. Okay. I will say this as we hop off. I know it's 9 o'clock, so I'll be on here for anybody for a couple more minutes that wants to stay on or ask any questions. I'll stop recording. Your goal in this, when you truly have a social media account that is attraction marketing, meaning you're doing these things, you're simply sharing your days, you will have people ask you what you're doing and be interested in plexus. When you add value to other people and they trust you, they'll not only trust you because you're sharing recipes and sharing things about your kids or sharing things about your day-to-day home life, they'll also value and trust you for your health tips too. So Wellness Wednesday, make that a thing, not just plexus. Like you find a healthy recipe or a tip for water, share those things. I think sometimes we start to take it for granted a little bit because we're on health journeys that other people know these things. I'm always amazed at how many times I tell somebody that's struggling with water to add a rubber band to it. You need to get 4 waters in a day, add a rubber band to your water bottle. As you take it, as you have to refill it, take the water or the rubber band off. It's tips like that that seem so simple that people need and want and add value to. And as you start doing that on your social media accounts, you guys are going to hate me for this, but there are very few people that I have ever cold messaged because I add value. And it's not pompous and arrogant to say this. I add value to people on social media. I comment on their posts. I like their messages because I'm genuinely interested in them. I love people. And so then when I do share about plexus, guess what? They ask. It doesn't mean that they're going to join you right away, but then you know who to add to your list to start to edify. And then on a Thursday, when we have an event, you simply send them a message and say, hey, I know you asked me about this. This is a really good thing for you to check out. It releases the pressure that you feel when you can be yourself. And that's what I want for every single one of you. You have a gift. You just have to unlock it and feel comfortable with who you are. All right. I love you guys. I'm super proud of you for hopping on. I will get this uploaded so that you can share it. I know that there were some people that couldn't hop on today and have already asked for it. So I will put this in the content planning. And if this is something that you guys want to do more often, absolutely we can. Just send me a message. All right. Love you guys. Happy Saturday.